Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Gametopsy, where we slice open the guts of major games to see what makes them tick and where they stick the landing. Today's subject, Vampire Crawlers, a board spin-off from the creators of Vampire Survivors. But this isn't just another sequel riding on success, it's a complete shift in identity. Released on April 21, 2026 across PC, consoles, and even mobile platforms, Vampire Crawlers takes the chaotic auto-battling formula that defined its predecessor and flips into something far more deliberate, a turn-based card-driven dungeon crawler. At first glance, it feels like a risky move. You're replacing instant gratification with strategy, passive chaos with calculated combos, and simplicity with layered systems. That kind of shift can either redefine a genre or completely alienate its audience. Is Vampire Crawlers a natural evolution or a dangerous mutation? Let's open it up. Narrative and background. The story of Vampire Crawlers begins with the massive success of Vampire Survivors, a game that didn't just succeed, it created an entire subgenre. With over 27 million players and a wave of imitators, developer Ponka found itself in a rare position, not just riding a trend but defining one. Instead of repeating that success, Ponka made a bold decision. Rather than creating Vampire Survivors 2, they chose to experiment. Vampire Crawlers was announced in late 2025 as a spin off, not a continuation, signaling a willingness to break away from expectations and explore new gameplay structures. The game officially launched on April 21, 2026 with a surprisingly low price point of around $9.99, making it one of the most accessible roguelike releases of the year. It also launched day one on Game Pass, ensuring a massive player base right out of the gate. The reception was immediate and strong. Within days, the game achieved overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam and peaked at tens of thousands of concurrent players. Critics and players alike recognized it not as a side project, but as a serious contender in the roguelike deckbuilder space, competing directly with heavyweights like Slay the Spire. Narrative and world building. Narratively, Vampire Crawlers takes a minimalistic approach, much like its predecessor. The story isn't delivered through long cutscenes or heavy dialogue. Instead, it exists in fragments, embedded within environments, enemy design, and progression systems. This creates a world that feels mysterious but intentionally vague. Furthermore, the setting expands on the Gothic universe introduced in Vampire Survivors, but reinterprets it through a dungeon crawling lens. Players explore layered environments filled with monsters, relics, and secrets, each area feeling like a piece of a larger decaying ecosystem. The world isn't just a backdrop, it's a system designed to challenge and reward curiosity. But what's interesting is how the game uses familiarity to its advantage. Returning enemies, characters, and references act as a connective tissue between the two games, but they're presented in a completely different context. This creates a sense of continuity while still allowing the game to stand on its own identity. However, this approach isn't without its limitations. The lack of a strong central narrative or character-driven story means emotional engagement can feel shallow at times. The world is intriguing, but it rarely evolves into something deeply personal or memorable beyond its aesthetic and mechanical purpose. Gameplay and mechanics. At its core, Vampire Crawlers is a turn-based roguelike deck builder, a massive departure from the auto-attacking chaos of its predecessor. Instead of surviving waves in real time, players now carefully construct decks, manage resources, and execute strategies through a card-based system. The defining mechanic is its combo system, where cards played in sequence amplify each other's effect. By organizing cards in ascending mana order, players can create devastating chains that scale exponentially. This transforms each turn into a puzzle, one where optimization and planning are just as important as raw power. Another standout feature is pacing flexibility. Players can take their time analyzing each move or play rapidly, chaining actions in quick succession without losing accuracy. This dual pacing system is surprisingly effective, allowing both casual and hardcore players to engage with the game on their own terms. Furthermore, the progression is driven by unlocks, upgrades, and deck evolution. New cards, relics, and modifiers constantly reshape how runs play out, ensuring high replayability. However, the complexity can sometimes become overwhelming, especially for players unfamiliar with deck building systems, creating a barrier to entry despite the game's accessible price. Visual and audio design. Visually, Vampire Calls retains the pixel art charm of its predecessor but adapts it to a new perspective. The shift to a more dungeon-focused presentation adds depth to environments, making exploration feel more tangible and immersive. It's familiar but noticeably more structured. The animations are simple yet effective, prioritizing clarity or spectacle. Combat effects, card animations, and enemy movements are designed to be readable even during chaotic sequences. This is crucial for a strategy-heavy game where every decision matters. The audio design complements this approach well. Sound effects are sharp and responsive, giving weight to each action, whether it's card being played or enemy being struck. The feedback loop is satisfying, reinforcing the impact of successful combos. Furthermore, the soundtrack leans into atmospheric tones, enhancing the game's dark gothic aesthetic without overpowering gameplay. While it may not be instantly memorable, it does its job effectively, supporting the experience rather than dominating it. Pros and cons. First, let's look at the pros. Number 1, bold reinvention. Instead of repeating Vampire Survivors, Ponkel took a risk and it paid off. The shift to a deck builder feels fresh and meaningful. Number 2, deep addictive gameplay. The combo system and deck building mechanics creates a loop that's incredibly hard to put down. Every run feels like a new puzzle. Number 3, accessible yet complex. The low price point, simple controls but deep systems signal that it's easy to start but hard to master, exactly what a roguelike should be. And number 4, strong replayability. With unlocks, updates, and varied builds, the game constantly encourages just one more run. And now let's look at the cons. Number 1, weak narrative presence. The game lacks a strong story and emotional hook. The world is interesting but not deeply engaging. Number 2, steep learning curve. New players may struggle with deck building mechanics, especially compared to the simplicity of Vampire Survivors. Number 3, repetition over time. Despite variety, runs can start to feel similar after extended play sessions. And number 4, limited innovation in presentation. While solid, the visuals and audio don't push boundaries or stand out significantly in the genre. Case summary. Vampire Crawlers is a rare kind of spin off, one that doesn't rely on its predecessor, but instead redefines what the franchise can be. It trades chaos for control, simplicity for depth, and in doing so creates an experience that feels both familiar and entirely new. But it's not perfect. The lack of a strong narrative and occasional repetition hold it back from true greatness. But what it achieves in gameplay design, replayability, and bold direction is undeniable. And for that, it gets a Gametopsy grade of A for excellent game with minor flaws. It's a confident evolution that proves that Ponker isn't just chasing success, they're reshaping it. And that's Vampire Crawlers Dissected. If you enjoyed this episode of Gametopsy, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to watch more videos like this one. And also don't forget to comment the games you want me to cover in this series. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay silver.